It's December 3rd, 1968. Across America, millions of TV sets flicker to life. On the screen, bold red lights spell one word: Elvis. The king of rock and roll steps into the spotlight once again. But just a few years earlier, Elvis Presley's crown had started to slip. After revolutionizing music in the 1950s, he spent much of the next decade trapped in a cycle of formulaic Hollywood movies. They were light, predictable, and far from the raw, electrifying energy that once made him a cultural earthquake. Meanwhile, rock music had evolved. The Beatles, the Rolling Stones, and Jimi Hendrix had taken over. By the mid-60s, many thought Elvis was finished. But on that cold December night, dressed in black leather and fire in his eyes, he proved the king still ruled. This was singer Presents Elvis, better known as the 1968 comeback special. It wasn't just a concert, it was a resurrection. It marked Elvis's first live performance in 7 years. Originally, NBC and his manager, Colonel Tom Parker, had planned a safe Christmas special filled with holiday tunes. But Elvis wanted more. He was tired of being a product. He wanted to feel the thrill of live music again. The sweat, the sound, the connection. Director Steve Binder saw that spark in him and helped shape a show that captured the real Elvis. Spontaneous, soulful, and powerful. The format was revolutionary. Part live concert, part jam session, and part cinematic performance, it felt unlike anything seen on television before. When Elvis walked onto that small stage surrounded by fans, the air was electric. Clad in a skin-tight black leather suit, now one of the most iconic looks in music history, he picked up his guitar, grinned, and started to play. The crowd roared. In that moment, the world saw not a movie star or a memory, but a man rediscovering himself. The jam sessions were the heart of the show. With his old bandmates Scotty Moore and DJ Fontana by his side, Elvis laughed, joked, and revisited his early hits: Heartbreak Hotel, Jailhouse Rock, and Hound Dog. The performances were raw and alive, showing the humor and humanity behind the legend. Audiences at home could feel that energy pulse through their screens. It was as if Elvis had peeled away the layers of Hollywood polish and let the real man shine through. But the magic of the special wasn't just nostalgia, it was transformation. The final segment, a powerful new song called If I Can Dream, turned the show into something timeless. Only months earlier, Martin Luther King Jr. had been assassinated in Elvis's hometown of Memphis. The tragedy shook the nation, and it deeply affected him. Songwriter Walter Earl Brown and musical director Billy Goldenberg created If I Can Dream specifically for Elvis, drawing inspiration from Dr. King's words and vision. When Elvis first heard it, he said, "I'll never sing another song I don't believe in." Wearing a white suit against a glowing red backdrop, Elvis delivered one of the most emotional performances of his career. His voice soared as he sang, "There must be lights burning brighter somewhere." The lyrics spoke of hope, unity, and faith in a better world. Themes that resonated deeply in the turbulent America of 1968. It wasn't just a song, it was a statement. By the time he hit the final note, the audience was in tears. For Elvis, it was more than a comeback, it was redemption. When the special aired on NBC, it became a national event. Over 40% of American households, roughly 40 million viewers, tuned in. Critics hailed it as one of the finest performances of his career. For a generation that had moved on to new sounds and faces, the king had reintroduced himself. Not as a relic, but as a force of nature. The broadcast re-established his reputation, setting the stage for his legendary Las Vegas residencies and chart-topping hits of the early 1970s. The comeback special reminded the world what made Elvis great: his ability to bridge gospel, blues, and rock into something deeply human. It also showed his courage to evolve, to face his own decline, and to fight his way back to greatness. Behind the cameras, Elvis had doubted himself. But when those red lights flashed his name and the first chords rang out, all the doubt disappeared. The king was home. In the years that followed, the 1968 comeback special became a cultural touchstone. It has been referenced, replayed, and revered for decades, not just as a moment in music history, but as a story of resilience. Even today, that image of Elvis in black leather, surrounded by screaming fans, feels electric. It's more than nostalgia. It's a reminder that true legends never fade. They rise again when the world needs them most. As If I Can Dream swells in the background, you can still feel his heart in every word. While I can think, while I can talk, while I can stand, while I can walk. That night, Elvis Presley wasn't just the king of rock and roll. He was the spirit of American music itself. He proved that even after years in the shadows, one performance, one song, and one moment of truth could change everything. If you enjoyed this look back at Elvis's legendary 1968 comeback, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Because legends don't fade, they just wait for the right moment to rise again.